Hey everyone, Jessica Coulter here, and today I want to shower you with some knowledge and help you. If I'm speaking to some parents, that's who I'm aiming to talk to today, any parents or guardians that are helping kiddos out with remote learning. So if that is you, let me know this message is relevant to you. Just tap that like or heart button for me. And if you want to share some information about your kiddo so I can better help you with remote learning and the journey it entails, let me know what grade your child is down below in the comments. So before we jump into these ideas of what parents can do to make remote learning the best it can be, I want to properly introduce myself when I'm not, in this gold kind of little funness. My name is Jessica Coulter, and I work as a tutor. I own a tutoring business called Ace Cookie Tutoring. I specialize in helping students in third grade and beyond, all the way up to adults in grad school. So I love helping adults with their thesis, getting that last paper done and on the books so they can graduate and move on with whatever their first or next career is. Also love helping students with the ACT, so getting them the score they need to get into their dream school. And finally, middle school math. I love the middle schoolers, probably the absolute most, but definitely work with much more than that, more subjects, more age ranges. So just ask. So guys, let's talk about remote learning. There are some things that are great about it. I know there are some things that aren't so great about it. So think about the things you can control as a parent, and think about the things you can't control. So that's kind of the point of the video, is the things you can control, mom and dad, make them what they need to be, do what you can do. I know you're already doing a lot, but these are some ideas on how to focus what you can do to help your kiddos the most. So number one, I know it's going to seem obvious, and it's probably a little redundant at this point, but internet. Unfortunately, internet is kind of the end-all be-all when it comes to remote learning. If you don't have a great connection, it's going to be really hard for your students to log into those remote classes, to stay logged in, and to maybe share screens or send emails. Whatever it is they might need to do, internet, unfortunately, is going to be make or break. So, if your internet at home isn't the greatest, if you can afford it, I highly encourage upping the speed, maybe changing providers. Also know that some school districts are providing free hotspots, especially for the more rural areas. Also, sometimes paper is available. Teachers can easily print off those packets or those assignments. That kind of depends on the school districts with the whole COVID thing. Also know that libraries in certain restaurants provide free internet. So there are suggestions, different ideas on how to get your child the best internet he or she needs. If your child is not making videos, isn't having to share his or her screen or interacting with groups of students, maybe not so important. But if you've got multiple people at home, multiple students, or mom and dad, you're working and your kiddo's working, internet is going to be very important. So before we move into idea number 2 and tip number 2, I want to let you know, if you're just plain struggling with remote learning, if your child is and you just want some help, would love to help you out. My link for my Facebook group, Students Aiming for A's, is in the description. It is facebook.com/groups/A's for students. So I'd love to have you in the group so I can help you and your kiddo kind of knock out this remote learning and stay on track. So let's move on to idea number 2. We've talked about internet, but what about other supplies? Yes, your child has his charger, his iPad, his Chromebook, whatever it is. He's good to go or she's good to go. But what about, I'm working as a sub right now, and tomorrow students in science are doing an experiment. Well, today the teacher asked, over half of the students did not have what they needed for the lab tomorrow. It's the day before the lab, and they are still not ready. The teacher has posted it on Canvas, which is where they go in to log in to do all their assignments and look at the agenda, all that good stuff. She sent out emails to the students themselves. She sent out emails to the parents. So I've got to encourage you to give your child the supplies he or she needs. Figure out what those supplies are when your child needs them, and that is going to make a huge difference. Because this kind of also feeds into communicating with the teacher. That teacher has emailed the parents. I've got no way of knowing if the parents are ignoring those emails, if they've even received them. So make sure whatever email address and phone number you have on your child's information is correct. Because if the teacher has done what she can or he can to contact you, mom and dad, and it's not a good number, not a good email, whose fault is that? So, one more idea here for you about the students themselves and what mom and dad can do to kind of work with the kiddos. Just want to check in first though. If you're liking the video, awesome. Tap that like or heart button for me. And if you haven't already, tell me what grade your child is in currently. And finally, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you're a subscriber of my channel. So, here we go. It's mom and dad. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to help you figure out what you specifically can do to get your kiddos on the right track and doing the best they can with remote learning. So if you've got the internet figured out, you've got the supplies figured out, you're doing a great job of communicating with the teachers, looking at your emails, answering those phone calls, think about your child himself or your child herself. Are you holding your child accountable? So I did a whole video on accountability, so if you haven't watched that, I highly encourage you to do so. But mom and dad, you are not taking your child's classes. It is not up to you to log in at Zoom at 1:05 for science. It is not up to you to write that 5-page paper that's due for English class in 3 days. That is not your job. So mom and dad, I encourage you to hold your child or your children accountable. And like I said, if you need some tips on how to do that, definitely encourage you to watch the other video that is on my YouTube channel as well as on my Facebook business page. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you need some help with remote learning, if you just want to figure out how to get through it and figure out what else you can do to help your child be great at remote learning, join my Facebook group. The link's in the description, facebook.com/groups/A's for students. So join the group, get the help you need, the tips you need to help your child do well in remote learning so that way he or she is not behind next year. Thanks so much. See you in the next video.